What's up, y'all? Kyle Hamilton here. I want to give a quick shout out to Lucas, Connor, and Ryan in the Week 0 podcast.
Running out of time, finally throws, and it is gone! Touchdown, Gyro Roberts! Hit backwards, up in the air, it's on the ground, it is down, it is over, and the Irish have knocked off number one Clemson. Herbert's got it. Stiff arm again, quarterback in the clear, inside the 10, a hat-trick and touchdown from Justin Herbert.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the Week 0 podcast, coming to you live from the apartment in Beckley, West Virginia. Excuse me. I am your host, Connor Fuente F. Dub Doherty. To my left is the co-host. I guess I'm not sure if you could call him a co-host, but he's the guy that does all the editing. He's the guy that runs the show, really, pretty much. It is Ryan. Notre Dame. I'm an Illinois fan. Who dat? Fravel. Then why the hell are you still wearing Notre Dame stuff if you're saying you're not a Notre Dame fan anymore?
Because it's like the only coat I have right now.
It can't be hard to find Illinois stuff right now.
And below us,
it's not.
He's actually a Tennessee fan, rocky-topped McKnight, rocking
Rocky
that
top,
Tennessee.
baby.
At this rate,
I bought this before they beat Bama. For the record, I bought this before they beat Bama.
Yeah,
so you're not a bandwagon.
At this rate, I feel
Not
like you and I should both. At this rate, Lucas, both you and I should probably just buy Hendon Hooker jerseys because that's the only way I'm going to feel any happiness now. So, I mean,
I do love Hendon
dear
Hooker.
God, when it came out that we had Jalen Hyten as a recruit who had committed to VT, I was just like, yeah, that sounds about right. That Justin Fuente would scare him away, or he was committed in 2019. I can't remember. All I know is that he was committed and then he decommitted a little after that. So he might have decommitted after Hooker left. For all I know, I have no idea. I can't.
Yeah,
remember.
it was like right after Hooker left.
No. It was in 2020.
Pretty
Hooker
sure.
played through 2020. Hooker transferred after in 2021. Whatever. Either way.
Doesn't matter. You guys dropped the ball.
Either way, Tennessee fans should be thanking VT for Fuente effing up, as my name suggests. So you're welcome. Oh, God. Excuse me. So good week of football, guys. What was your guys' I guess we're just going to quickly – so Lucas – oh, congratulations, Lucas! You are a new dad.
Yeah,
I am a new dad. I got the little crib thing in here, so
What's her
whenever
name?
I'm gaming, she can
Tennessee
come in here.
McKnight.
Tennessee.
Her name's Tennessee McKnight.
Yes, it is. That's why when I bought it, when I bought this,
you better not be lying.
I'm not lying.
No, it's actually like you didn't
Swear to
see the picture. It's on her blanket.
Wait,
Yeah,
what?
in the hospital.
It's actually
Swear to God.
Tennessee.
Yeah.
Her first name is Tennessee.
Yes,
How did you convince your girlfriend /
she came up with it.
She came up with the name Tennessee?
She had the idea.
Well, now you
Yep.
can just say that when she grows up, she's a 10, because that's what she'll be.
Exactly. Yep.
Well,
That's why
she's
when I
the
bought
only
this,
10.
when I bought this hoodie,
You're gonna be calling her. So that's why you got it. Actually, was because of that. I didn't realize.
yeah. So when I bought this hoodie, I told my cousin, I was like, because he likes the Volunteers too. I was like, if they lose to Bama, it's okay because I just got this for my daughter. But if they win, then it's like a double. It's a win-win situation for me. Now
Yeah,
I
So
look good
basically,
in the
Lucas. So basically, the minute she was born, we should have known immediately that Tennessee was guaranteed to beat Bama.
I told everybody in my sports chat, I was like, my fiance's going into labor, and then I was like, you better start hammering those Tennessee Lions because they're gonna win this
I mean, at
game.
this rate, it makes sense that you're gonna make her a Tennessee Titans fan. It makes sense, of course.
Oh yeah,
Oh.
she will be. She will be.
And then, but will you also make her a tenant? Will you make sure that she goes to
No.
Tennessee?
No, watch out.
No.
She'll be a Washington fan, just
No,
in
no, no.
spite of Lucas.
No. Watch.
She won't.
Watch. She'll go instead of going to Tennessee. She'll go to Vanderbilt instead. She'll go she's
I'd
like,
be okay with
my name's
that.
Tennessee. My name's
It's a
Tennessee
smart
McKnight."
school.
It's basically an Ivy League. I'd be cool with that. She'd be smart.
So you would not want her to actually go to Tennessee for college?
I don't care where she goes to college, but
As long
she's
as-
not going
as
to be a
long as it's
Tennessee
not-
fan.
as
She's
long
going
as
to be a
it's not
Ducks
US
fan.
As long as it's not USC, Oregon State, UCLA, or Bama, baby.
I'd rather her go to all of those schools.
That's like my
Oregon.
daughter.
Well,
Other than maybe
at least you're gonna be
Bama,
good
but
about it.
like
You're not gonna
USC,
be- You're not going to be
USC,
mean about it and keep her from going to
all
the
those
school she wants to go
schools have
to.
good academics.
But then again, you have
Don't matter.
18 years until that happens. So
Yeah, a long time.
yeah. So Tennessee, what's her middle name?
Rianne.
Tennessee Rianne McKnight.
Yes.
And her birthday. What's her birthday?
It is October 14th.
I was about to say, damn kid.
Everything kind of like squished together. It was a long period
Yeah, I
of
mean,
time.
yeah,
I know
you guys
Ryan
have been
Ryan knows
crazy.
what it's like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. Here's a new new
Yes.
person coming in.
No, that's
And Michigan,
that's
man.
Phil. That's Phil right
Oh,
there.
that's Phil.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Yep.
didn't know
Yes.
that. Sorry. But yeah, Phil, thanks and also thank you for coming on last week. Unfortunately, you didn't do very well in the pick'ems. And neither did I. We'll get to that eventually. So Lucas, we got to get through this real quick because obviously I think you said your dad is coming to meet his new granddaughter.
Yes, he will be here in about an hour.
Okay.
Okay,
So let's try and get through this real quick. I guess. How about one of us just do the best thing, someone else do the worst thing, and then I don't know. We'll just try and get this real quick.
I would say probably let's go with the worst thing, and I don't know what the worst thing. I mean,
Notre Dame
other
losing to
than-
Stanford.
yeah, I mean, I didn't want to say it. Honestly, I will also say one of the worst things I saw this weekend, just us being, wanting Connor to have some strip of happiness in his life. Seeing that VT could have easily won that game,
Dude,
which
don't worry.
it should give you some confidence. It should give you some confidence because they actually didn't look bad at the end of that game.
But,
So hopefully they
but
can
at the
turn
same
things
time, Miami literally scored. I think went scoreless in the second half. So
Yeah.
if even in the fourth, I'll get to that because that's actually ironically that's who I chose as my bummer was Brent Pry. So we'll get to that. But if he had actually like pushed the ball a little bit on the offense, like in the third quarter, they probably would have made it because that was definitely a game that Miami just looked like for some reason it ran out of gas or something. I don't know exactly, but BT definitely could have won that game. Unfortunately, now they're
And I'm sorry, Connor, but
Right.
like your football teams just can't give you any semblance of joy, just like mine.
dude. I mean, it's funny thing is, unlike you, who gets like morbidly like who gets legitimately pissed. I'm just like it's not even that I'm like used to it. It's just I know it's a waste of time to get upset about it. Sure, I'm sure I'm mad that the Ravens could be 6-0. They really should be if they actually had a defense that could hold double-digit leads in the fourth quarter.
If the offense didn't just implode in the second half of games.
Well, it's both the offense. Well, one game the offense disappeared. That was against the Bills. Then versus the Dolphins, the defense just didn't show up in the second half. And then the Giants, it was actually just Lamar himself that just kind of screwed the pooch there.
And the boy Julian Love picked him up.
Jerry,
in
that's
fantasy
the
this week.
one. If
Got
Indy,
me 12 points.
if
Dude,
Notre
I
Dame's
just
going
I
to
just
win
don't-
anything, it's Julian Love.
Seeing that throw that Lamar did, that was such a rookie mistake. Throwing off his back foot, off balance, back across his body, back across the middle of the field. Like, you do not do that. Just throw it out of bounds. I think that was third down. Just throw it out of bounds. Try and force them.
No,
to-
it was second down. Or no,
It
never
was
mind.
second down.
No, you're right. It was 3rd and 6. 3rd and 6.
Yeah, because they had done like a QB sneak to get first down, but then they got called for illegal formation that drove him back 5 yards. So that's just like him trying too hard, and unfortunately, like see, in those moments, that's when I'm like, oh, that's why the Ravens didn't give him the money he actually wanted, or like the amount that he actually wanted. But then there's times where you're like, oh, he definitely should have gotten it. So it's just, I don't know. But whatever. But it's also, I'm an Orioles fan, so I'm totally used to my teams not doing good at all, and I'm just like totally used to it at this point.
So Lucas, what's your best what was your worst thing?
He said the VT.
Thing,
was VT not?
No, that was my best thing, and the only reason for it is because it shows like a shred of willpower, I guess you could say, out of VT. Like, they didn't completely fall over. They could have lost that game 30-something to nothing, but they came back. They held in the second half. I think it gives you a little bit of confidence heading into the rest of the season and moving forward.
Plus they get they get a very weak NC State on the road without Devin Leary, and based on how they played against Syracuse, they're not good offensively without him. So, I'm not sure if that makes me confident. That doesn't make me confident enough to pick the upset, but gives me a little bit of hope. But I don't know.
Worst thing I saw, I would say probably. What's the worst thing? We're gonna go in on the Tennessee game a lot, but probably seeing Jermaine Burton.
Oh, slap that girl!
Like almost knock that chick out.
What?
What
did I miss?
She's like walking past him, and all of a sudden you just see it's from very far away, so it's hard to tell. But it looks like he just smacked her or something. As he's walking past, and you just see her like holding her head and just kind of look back as she's just walking off.
Yeah.
So
that was probably the worst thing I saw. Poor loser.
People were saying on Twitter. Yeah, people were saying on Twitter, like...
I didn't even see anything, so he literally just pushed a girl.
After the game. This is when they rushed the field and stuff, and people were saying...
He hit her in the side of the head.
Yeah. People were saying he's taking out his frustration, because he's pissed that he hasn't been getting as much production at Alabama.
And I'm sure she was probably chipping at him, but what are you going to do if you're a Tennessee Volunteers fan, Tennessee fan that hasn't beat Bama in 15 years? Of course, you're going to chip at people as they're walking off.
It's like, you don't think when even though we beat Clemson without Trevor Lawrence, you don't think Notre Dame fans, when they stormed the field after we beat Clemson, didn't talk shit to the Clemson players?
Well, wasn't there that video of like a Texas Tech fan that bull rushed and
that was the Notre Dame transfer to Texas. Yeah.
But then there was I saw that there was a Texas Tech fan that pushed on a Texas player, but then I saw a Texas player push or hit a Texas Tech fan. I guess it was two separate incidents
at least we're not seeing anything on the same thing as what was his name for Oregon did. LeGarrette.
But at least that was against
that was player to player. That's a little different from player to player to player to fan.
Wasn't it walking off the field though?
Yeah, but the guy said some shit, and
this was in the middle of the field, and all of a sudden the guy bunch just throws a punch, and the dude just drops like a rock. But yeah, so I mean, best thing I saw was the tour of Knoxville that the goalposts got. There's gonna be like a 30 for 30 just about the trip those goalposts took.
I actually wonder, because when I was making the best,
I was like, why did they do that? Because I totally thought they were gonna take like a plasma cutter or something and cut pieces up. Because there's plenty at VT. I don't remember when. It wasn't from when they beat UNC last year, but it was from a long time ago when they rushed this field and they tore down the goalposts. Bars all over the place around Blacksburg have pieces of the goalposts, like above there, like in the bars and stuff. So I thought that's what was going to happen. People were going to take pieces of it home, but no, they're just like, we're just going to throw it in the river.
Well, I'm surprised that people didn't get trampled or injured, because when I was making that video, I'm like, dude, people were pushing, Tennessee fans were pushing and shoving each other because they wanted to get on the goalpost.
Yeah. So, yeah.
But the best and worst thing I saw, I'll get into the Notre Dame thing later, but the worst thing I saw was, the funniest thing I saw was the Kentucky player who got hit in the face by a Mississippi State player. Get a flop and got a personal foul called.
Did you see the Tennessee offensive lineman that threw up?
No, I
Yes,
didn't.
and then he stared the guy down, and the guy's like, "What the hell?" And he
up
just
and like
shakes
the
his
Alabama
head at
guy
him.
looks down at the ground and is like, "What the hell?" And then the dude's like, "Yeah, what?"
Yeah.
Like, what?
But yeah, and then the best thing I saw was just Tennessee. You know, it's like anytime Alabama loses, the world wins. So
Yeah. Also, the worst thing was Alabama's inability to have a good kicker in the clutch come through.
Oh, the college kicker
Yep.
memes continue for Alabama.
Dude, that actually legit is like a true meme at this point. I mean, it's hard. I mean, honestly, that's started even like
You'll see it.
before.
I called it, bro. I
Like,
called it in the group chat before it happened, before the guy went out there to kick.
yeah, I
It
think
was
you
fourth
did.
down, and I said, guys, don't, because you guys were saying, oh, Alabama's going to win. And I said, guys, don't worry, Alabama never has a kicker.
Okay, let's get through this real quick. Let's go through the AP poll.
Let me pull it up really quick. Did you guys share it in the group chat?
No, I just shared a.
You just shared the projected news
Vols.
6 games.
Somebody tweeted that they predict the Oregon game to be 60-28 with UCLA winning.
Who?
This guy's clearly a UCLA fan.
60-28.
Yes.
Okay. Jeez.
Yeah, he's a UCLA fan.
Games at Oregon, right?
Yeah. Oregon's won like 27 straight at home. Chip Kelly. Last time Chip Kelly won a game in Autzen Stadium was October 27th, 2012. October 27th, 2012. So almost 10 years ago.
We're a week short of 10 years for that.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So, I'm just glad to see that Tennessee is up at 3. Bama dropping to 6, I have no problem with.
Them and Tennessee literally just switched spots.
Yeah, they just switched them. TCU jumping from wherever they jumped up to 8 after that game. I was so mad when I took TCU because I thought that was all a point we were all going to lose there with Oklahoma State. We all got that wrong, and then they didn't. It's so crazy how that game is like not even like wasn't even like the best game of the week. It was obviously Alabama, Tennessee, but I don't think any of us could have predicted that Alabama and Tennessee would live up to the hype that actually had. So now you have actually
looking like Tennessee was going to blow them out.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, exactly. It did. You have UCLA, Oregon, 9-10, college game day. Is that what game? What time is that? Is that like
it's a 12:30 Pacific time.
That's the 3:30. So that's the second round of games on ESPN. Then got it.
It's on Fox.
It's on Fox. Okay. Whatever.
Yeah, so we're gonna get. Hopefully, we get Gus Johnson and Joel Klatt because.
Do you guys?
I love me some Gus Johnson.
I think, sadly enough, Lucas, I think they're calling the Ohio State-Iowa game.
Of course they are. They're like the Big Ten more than us.
Yeah.
It's kind of BS.
What on USC still being above Utah?
Don't like it.
Wasn't Utah? What was Utah before?
Utah was 20.
They were 20. USC was what, 6 or 7?
7.
They were 7. I think it's fine. I mean, just because Utah does have the extra loss.
Plus,
also, it wasn't like a game that Utah won dominantly. If they blew out USC,
they won at the end. So,
my issue is having North Carolina and Tulane ranked. I don't buy that those two teams are top 25 teams. Drake May is a top 10 quarterback in college football, but North Carolina, they got ran by a Notre Dame team that lost to Marshall and Stanford at home.
Yeah.
They barely beat a Miami team that got blown out by Middle Tennessee State. And they barely escaped a Duke team that got beat by Georgia Tech. So I don't think they're really that good, and I don't think they should be ranked.
Their defense will pull them back.
Yeah, they're in Tulane. They lost to Southern Miss. So I mean, I get that they beat Kansas State, but I don't know. I'm just not sold on either two of those teams.
What are your thoughts on NC State staying?
I don't think they should be ranked either.
No.
I would
think-
have completely knocked them out.
I mean,
Their only reason is because
Well,
if they had Devin Leary, like if Devin
They've
Leary
only
was coming
lost
back
this
this week,
week.
right? It's the same thing with like Kentucky. I would have kept Kentucky in. The only reason I was going to keep Kentucky in the top 25 after losing to South Carolina is because they didn't have Will Levis.
I get
So-
that, but here's the thing about it though, is that you go into the last game knowing like last second basically that your quarterback's not going to play and is going to be out for the season. You're not going to have a lot of preparation going into that game against not just any team. They're going up against an undefeated team in Syracuse. And the only teams that they have lost to so far this season are undefeated Syracuse and undefeated Clemson. So I think kicking them out of the top 25, I don't think that would be right at this point. If they lose another, obviously you're going to get them out of there, but I don't think they should be all the way out of the top 25. Looking at the rankings and the votes, I don't know that you put anybody over Tulane. Maybe Purdue. Purdue got a lot of votes.
Purdue
this
looks
week.
really good.
Who's 26 through like 30?
So Purdue's 26. You got LSU at 27, South Carolina at 28, UCF at 29, and Kansas
I would
at
honestly,
30.
I would rather have UCF ranked than Tulane.
UCF isn't a bad one. They're 6-1 also.
What about?
I think it's crazy that South Carolina got the same amount of votes as UCF.
Well, South Carolina beat Kentucky, and Kentucky just beat Mississippi State, so they're getting some points.
South Carolina beat Kentucky without Will Levis, though.
That's the thing.
But Mississippi State also kind of have, and then I'll talk about this. They always ever since they've gotten Mike Leach, they kind of have their offense is always good usually, but then they always have that one or two games where their offense just totally disappears, and they lose a game they probably actually shouldn't have lost because Kentucky was below them. They really should have won that game.
And LSU, they should have won that game too.
Yeah. So Syracuse is at 14, 6-0. I have no idea how they're 6-0. It's crazy.
They haven't played anybody.
That's true. That's my other thing with Syracuse. That's my thing with. What about Cincinnati?
Cincinnati, their only loss, I believe, is to Arkansas week
Arkansas.
1, right?
Oh right.
Yeah,
right.
but Arkansas is 4-3. I mean,
Okay. So it's not that bad. I do
Cincinnati has no good wins, and they have,
it's just because people. It's just because of last year.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. It's just because of last year.
right.
I do think we're seeing Texas being how good they can be. I mean, that was a close game.
It wasn't.
interesting-
Texas was not really impressive against Iowa State
Why?
at all.
But you're seeing the potential that they have now that you've seen Ewers and Bijan together. Like you're seeing what they could have been if Ewers hadn't gotten injured. Like they probably would have won that Alabama game. They wouldn't have lost to Texas Tech.
Also, I also want to say because either way, even if I honestly think if they had Ewers, I still think they dropped 2 games because look at how
I
they
don't
played
think
against
so.
Iowa State. I mean, Iowa State
yeah, but
really
Iowa State still
should have won
has
that game. Should have won
one
that
of-
game.
Yeah, but look at their defense. That defense is nuts. That defense
But
is insane.
I'm saying
that
Iowa
was the
State's
second
offense
most
is
points they've
terrible.
given up all season.
What
Second most
Iowa
points they've
State's
given up all
defense?
season.
So isn't it Illinois also has the best defense in all of college?
Illinois has the number 1 points per game defense in the country.
I saw they're like number 1 in points per game. They're number 1 in like yards per game. They're like top 1 or anywhere from 1 to like 10 in a multitude.
In total defense, Illinois is top 3.
Okay.
In
gotcha.
total
So-
defense, Illinois is number 1. Actually,
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I call it that.
But no, I'm saying like if you go back and watch that game against Iowa State, Texas had Quinn Ewers, and Iowa State technically, in my opinion, if you watch the game, technically dominated that game, or was the better team for a majority of that
Ewers
game.
had a good game though. So did Bijan.
And Iowa State only lost on a controversial fumble that was not a fumble.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously his knee was obviously down.
You have
but
okay. Let's move on real quick. Before, do you have any issue with like anyone in like the top 10 to 15, or is there any switches you would make in like the?
I'd
top
have Wake Forest. I'd have Wake Forest ahead of USC and Oklahoma State, just because I think
Why?
Wake Forest is a top 10 team. I honestly, I really think Wake Forest could compete with anybody in the top 10. At least
think-
offensively.
I think
Defensively, their
every
defense-
single one of those teams in the top 10, other than I want to say probably Ole Miss, is more physical and tougher and would beat
and
down
Wake Forest has
Forest.
probably other than I'd say
I don't think any of those
I
teams
think
in the
Wake
top
Forest-
10 would stop
I
Wake
think
Forest from
has the
scoring.
worst defense of any other team from 1 through 13. They have the worst defense of anyone, maybe in the top 15.
They also have probably the best offense out of all the teams in the top
Well,
25.
Clemson already proved you wrong.
What?
And that's where the defense things comes in. Okay, let's move on. Let's move on from that. Let's do our Heisman top 5. I guess in either no particular order or 5 through 1, however you guys want to do it.
I'm doing 5 through 1.
Okay, so Lucas, why don't you go first?
So right now for my number 5, it's actually you could like plug in either one of these guys because their stats are so similar, and it really all depends on what happens on Saturday. But those two guys are Bo Nix and Dorian Thompson-Robinson.
Ooh.
It really all depends on how this game goes on Saturday. I mean, if one of them has a great one, the other one doesn't, kind of that deal. So I think you could plug either one of them into number 5. Number 4, I have Hendon Hooker. I mean, for obvious reasons, just beat Bama, had a crazy good game. Number 3, I actually have Max Duggan at my number 3 spot. I mean, he came in there and played a really good game against a really good Oklahoma State team and got that win. Number 2, I have moving up Blake Corum. After the game he had against Penn State and the games that he's been having lately against really good competition, he's doing really well. And then obviously number 1, 24 touchdowns. I think he only has 3 interceptions on the year is CJ Stroud. He's by far and away the Heisman leader, maybe the second all-time unanimous Heisman Trophy winner we've ever seen.
CJ Stroud?
Yes.
Sorry.
Okay. So I'm going to go next, and I think my list might surprise you guys. At number 5, I'm going to go not CJ Stroud, Bryce Young. I think he's still in the conversation even after the loss to Tennessee. He played as well as he possibly could in that game to give them the best chance to win. It's just not his fault that they didn't have a kicker, and Hendon Hooker did. At number 4, I'm going to have DTR. I think this game says a lot about his Heisman, possibilities. And I think, and along with Lucas, I have Bo Nix on the outside looking in it. But if he has a great game, he slides in there for me. At number 3, I'm going to go Chase Brown. He's leading the whole entire country in rushing. I think he's one of the, if not the best back in college football, carrying a team in Illinois that would not be there without him. The difference between him and Blake Corum, in my opinion, is Blake Corum has a way better offensive line. And Blake Corum also shares the backfield with Donovan Edwards. So I think Chase Brown, I give him more credit than I would Blake Corum with what he has to work with at Illinois. And then number 2, CJ Stroud, still a really good quarterback, maybe the best quarterback in college football. I just want to wait and see until Ohio State actually plays somebody to have him at number 1. Number 1, it's me and Lucas's favorite hooker, Hendon Hooker, all the way. Had his Heisman moment this past weekend. Has the best resume of any quarterback right now that has the Heisman Trophy capabilities. So I think he deserves some credit to be at number 1 with the Heisman moment he had. So yeah, that's my top 5.
Yeah, so 5, I was split. It's Blake Corum and Chase Brown, 2 best running backs in the Big Ten. One of the top 3 or 4 running backs, along with probably Bijan Robinson, and take your pick of Sean Tucker and Deuce Vaughn probably alongside them. 4, I have Bryce Young. He looked good against Tennessee, but he missed half of that game against Arkansas. And against like Texas, he didn't look very good. He didn't look that good. So, but it's always good to see a player like of his caliber, fight through adversity like that. 3, I have DTR, but I mean it's kind of the same thing with Lucas. DTR, that's kind of like a placeholder. If Oregon wings and Bryce Bonix goes off, I'm sure that could be where he's going to be in a few weeks' time. 2, I have CJ Stroud. It's the same reason as you, Ryan. Is he just hasn't played anybody. He hasn't played anybody of note.
The best team he's faced is Notre Dame, and he didn't play very well against Notre Dame.
Yeah, but I mean, and then we'll see how he plays against Penn State. Well, I mean, Penn State's, whatever.
Penn State's okay, but Penn State's better than Notre Dame.
I would say so too, but it's just I want to see how he looks against a good defense that can make him. And obviously, he didn't do that well against Ohio State or Notre Dame. Notre Dame's defense is decent, I think. So his numbers are ridiculous, but I just don't think he's had that Heisman moment like Hendon Hooker has had. He's Heisman moment as well. Hooker, just that single drive, those 2 passes, that's the Heisman moment for me that he has already. You could have taken some of those throws he made that were ridiculous, but really that he pretty much just copied KC versus Buffalo, that 13 seconds, and said he had 15 to get those 2 passes done.
Yeah, that was crazy. And you know who caught it?
Brew McCoy.
Brew McCoy.
Dude, I didn't even realize
the
that was
legend.
Dude,
Brew McCoy.
Didn't he go to Texas, then transfer to USC, then transfer back to Texas or something, or it was?
Yeah,
I didn't know he was at Tennessee. I didn't even know where he was anymore because
he has been basically like the Tate Martell of wide receivers in college football. But it's funny enough, he's actually having a really good season this year. He led the team in receiving, I think, 2 weeks ago.
Gotcha.
He's actually having a really good year, but it's just weird because Brew McCoy, it's just random.
I just remember that whole thing with him, USC and Texas. Was he going to go there? Was he going to not? Then he transferred to one. They transferred back to the other. I didn't even know he was there. So, yeah, that's my – so it's Blake Corum, Chase Young, 5, Chase Brown, sorry. Bryce Young, 4, DTR, 3, CJ Stroud, 2, Hendon Hooker, 1. Okay. Let's not do game recaps because we already kind of briefly talked about, at least really it's the only thing we care about is the Tennessee game, and we got to get the pick'ems real quick. So obviously we got to get through a lot of pick'ems. Okay, Stunner and Bummer. Ryan,
I'll go ahead. Oh, yeah, go ahead, Ryan.
Let's have Ryan go first.
What, my Bummer or Stunner first?
Do Bummer. Who the hell?
Oh, you know who the hell my Bummer is? Tommy effing Rees. This dude has been the offensive coordinator for Notre Dame the last 3 seasons, and Notre Dame has not had a top 25 offense either 3 of those years. This dude, maybe me and other Notre Dame fans don't understand what NFL people think of him, because NFL scouts and NFL coaches think that Tommy Rees has this potential to be a boy genius offensive coordinator. Like the next Kellen Moore, evidently, which I don't understand because Notre Dame has weapons. He just doesn't – he either doesn't play them, doesn't utilize them, and then tries to outsmart the defense sometimes to prove that he's a boy genius. I mean, look at the 4th down and 2 run that we had against Stanford when we were on the goal line the first drive of the game. Dude wants to run a jet sweep to a wide receiver on to the side of Stanford's defense where they have 5 defenders and Notre Dame has 2 blockers. This dude thinks he's the smartest head coach in all of college football, and he needs to be without a job. I mean, the fact that Marcus Freeman at the beginning of the year asked him, hey, to have an offensive analyst oversee him, it's like, hey, what do you think about having David Cutcliffe as our offensive analyst? The guy that freaking, made Peyton Manning. He's like, nah, I'm good. The offense looks just about as good as it did when Tommy Rees was our quarterback. So,
yeah, well, that makes sense.
Let's get through. Okay, Lucas, you're a Bummer. I guess
All
we'll
right,
do
my
bummers
bummer
first.
of the week, and it's actually my second time putting him as my bummer, which is weird. But
It's just like the Doofenshmirtz quote. It's just like, every time I had a nickel for when this happened, I have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it's happened twice.
yeah, exactly, and that's actually Tanner Morgan.
Minnesota QB.
He was supposed to be like pretty good. I mean, like he's in his 5th year at Minnesota. Like he's supposed to be pretty good.
He was
that
long.
He was 4 for 12, 21 passing yards and an interception on the day.
We could have done better than that. Jeez.
Yeah. In a game in which they lost by 12 to Illinois, they did have a really good run game. Obviously, Mo Ibrahim is a stud, and he had a really good game against Illinois. But like, I don't know how you expect to win a game with that kind of stat line at the quarterback position. So yeah, second time this year, Tanner Morgan on my bummer list.
Yeah, my bummer is Brent Pry for, as we were talking about, not adjusting offensively sooner. He's been actually kind of running the defense a little bit because that's what he was. He was the defensive coordinator for Penn State. He's kind of letting the offense kind of do its own thing, which I think he needs to kind of step in and kind of force them to make adjustments quicker because whatever they were doing, I couldn't watch the game because I was working.
So he's basically Marcus Freeman.
Sure, we can trust
Freeman trusts his coordinators to do everything. So
sure, but I mean, at the same time, like, you know, he's got to do something. He's got to change something. Graham Wells, what worries me the most is that apparently Graham Wells is the best option we have, which I don't agree with. I would love to see them put in Taj Bullock, who came in the bowl game.
That's what I've been saying.
He looked decent against Maryland in the time he had.
He looked good against Notre Dame the time he had.
Oh yeah, he had to come in that game when Burmeister got injured, and I'm not sure if he made some
He made a throw that was like a 50-yard completion to Trey Turner.
Yeah, so I mean, he's a true sophomore, so I mean, give him some reps, see what you have. Maybe you have someone that you can have on next year because I think this is Grant Wells.
Pray to God Grant Wells doesn't come back.
Pray to God we don't have Grant Wells next year. So yeah, I mean, it's just 2-5. You know.
Now, did Pry bring in his own OC in DC, or was there guys there that Virginia?
No, we had Justin Hamilton, who Fuente hired. Hamilton he wasn't hired. He was like a defensive assistant under Bud Foster that Fuente then elevated to DC in 2020 when after 2019 when Foster retired. Offensive coordinator, yeah, he brought in the guy. His name's Tyler Bowen. He was the Jacksonville Jaguars tight end coach under Urban Meyer.
So wait, Lucas, did Dan Lanning, did he bring in all his own guys, or did Oregon make him keep anybody on staff?
No. I mean, they basically cleaned house because Mario took everybody to Miami.
So yeah,
that's the difference. Oregon let Dan people.
Yeah, so he picked. Obviously, he got Kenny Dillingham. Got Kenny Dillingham.
Okay.
Who? And if you think about it,
a bunch of people too.
If you think about it, though, he gets Kenny Dillingham. Kenny Dillingham ends up recruiting Bo Nix to Oregon, and that's why their offense has been so good because they knew each other from Auburn. The year or his Bo Nix's freshman year, they knew each other from Auburn, so that helped a lot. We got Tosh Lupoy he was an Alabama guy, coached in the NFL for a long time. He's our defensive coordinator now. Like him and Dan Lanning putting their minds together, it's huge. And I mean, basically everybody else was just handpicked and chosen.
See, but that's what I like because Notre Dame basically told when Freeman got the job, "Hey, we'll let you get the job, but are you okay with Tommy Rees being your OC?"
Yeah. So I don't know. I know VT. I know he brought in his own defensive coordinator, and Brent Pry still kind of acting as one for VT. I know he hired Joe Randolph or Rudolph from
Mhm.
Wisconsin, the offensive line coach from them, and we were like, "Oh my god!" The fact he got him was like, "Yes, our offensive line."
I just don't understand why is it so hard for Notre Dame and Virginia Tech to go get an OC that can run a high-powered offense? I never understood that. Like Oregon finds it easy to find a guy that can run a high-powered offense.
I don't know. Okay, stunners. Lucas, you go first with stunners.
First of all, with my bummer backup was Marcus Freeman. But anyways, my stunner of the week is the college football player of the week, Jalen Hyatt.
Ooh, love
6 catches, 207 yards, 5 touchdowns. He leads the team in yards by over 200 yards. And he also leads the team in receiving touchdowns with 10, which is 10 of Hendon Hooker's 15 that he's thrown on the year, which is pretty crazy. And obviously,
touchdowns. I feel like he would have thrown a lot more than that, but I guess
no, just 15, which is why 24 by CJ Stroud is so ridiculous. But yeah, so Jalen Hyatt, go Vols.
All right, so my stunner of the week is going to be the UCF quarterback, John Rice Plumlee, one of the best names in all of college football.
John David Booty.
He threw for almost 400 yards passing against Temple in a 70-13 blowout of Temple. Dude had 4 incompletions the entire game. Had 4 touchdown passes, no interceptions, and had a 17 yards per catch average or per attempt.
Damn, that's impressive. Oh. And mine is Hyatt's quarterback, my former VT quarterback that I dream of, thinking, happy dreams of that we could have had. Hendon Hooker, 21 of 30 for 385 yards, 5 touchdowns, 1 interception, which I think is his first of the season, 14 rushes for 56 yards, and I don't think he had a touchdown on the ground. But
this is the time where we need the "you blew it" meme sound effect.
You blew it.
You blew it! Yeah, pretty much. Okay, cool.
My stunner backup, which I'm surprised that Ryan didn't pick him this week because he picked him last week also, but that was Cam Rising. He had 5 total touchdowns and over 450 yards.
I can't pick him again, Lucas. He's not the best quarterback in the Pac-12 anymore.
You're right.
Okay. Surprise team. Lucas.
I'll go ahead. So my surprise team of the week, Oklahoma. They obviously, Dylan Gabriel coming back. He played an incredible game. He was almost my stunner. It was pretty close. Threw over 400 yards. Beat number 19 Kansas, 52-42. They went 16 for 21 on third downs in this game, which is if you're averaging that, that's you're probably going to win the game. They had nearly 300 more yards than Kansas, and they only had 1 more minute of possession time, which that says a lot about how good this offense was rolling in that game. Obviously, we're sad that Kansas has lost 2 straight games now, but Oklahoma looked.
They would have won if Jalen Daniels wasn't hurt.
Oklahoma looked like they should have at the beginning of the season before they got those 3 losses.
This is what you get, Lucas, for saying Jason Bean was a good quarterback.
He had a good game. I mean, he threw some bad picks, but he did decent.
Didn't we all pick Kansas?
Yeah, we did. Well,
yes.
And we all thought they were bettors were crazy because Oklahoma was favored by 9.
It was like Oklahoma was like 9-point favorite. Like, damn. Okay. I'll go next, actually. My surprise team is NC State, just showing how bad they are offensively without Devin Leary.
Well, they weren't that good offensively with him.
That's true. But they lost 24-9. Just couldn't do anything against Syracuse, against the Orange. And now the Syracuse is 6-0, and I don't know what to think about that at all. So, surprise team.
But my surprise team of the week, I'm just going to keep pounding on it until it's a dead horse at this point. I'm going to go Stanford.
Being in like a dead horse.
Yep. Stanford got ran through by every single team they played, with the exception of Notre Dame. And somehow, some
Stanford should
way,
be on a 2-game winning streak right now. They should have beat Oregon State.
somehow, some way, Stanford just magically looks like a different team when they come to South Bend. So, yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Meme team. Now, I've taken this. We used to say meme team as in bad teams, but obviously we're just doing straight
Just
whatever we
memes.
want. Just any
We don't
funny
have-
memes, even if they win or even if they lose. Because
Do you guys have a meme?
No, I did not come
I
up
do
with
not.
one.
Oh,
I
forgot
made one.
Lucas's-
You can
I'll
show
put it-
mine.
Luke.
At first, my meme team was Notre Dame, but then I thought of this idea, and I was like, I have to. This is hilarious.
All right. Let me pull it up.
Losing because of a kicker in a rivalry. Want to see me do it again. Obviously, this is a throwback to the kick six back in 2013.
And against them in 2020 last year. No,
Was it last year or
was
was
it last
that?
year or 2020 where they dinged it off the left upright? Or no, that was 2019. That was 2019.
Yeah.
It was like a 48-45 loss at Auburn. He dinged it off the left upright.
Alabama just can't seem to catch a break in the kicking game. And
Alabama doesn't recruit kickers, Lucas. We've known this.
I guess not. Yeah, they just.
I mean, they take
just
it
can't seem to
literally.
catch a break.
There's no foot in football. They take.
Well, and what's crazy about it too is that the game-winning field goal from Tennessee was blocked, but it still managed to make it through.
It was a
And
knuckleball, man.
When in slow replays, it didn't look like it was blocked. It looked like he just knuckled it straight off his foot.
I thought the guy touched it. It
don't
looked
think
like the
so.
guy touched it.
Or whatever. Either way,
To
he
me.
made it. So.
But either way, it was a really bad kick. Still made it through. The Bama kicker actually kicked a decent kick, but it was just wide right. They just can't seem to catch a break.
Yeah.
And this meme will never get old.
No, it won't. Okay, my meme team, I already mentioned it before, is Mississippi State having their yearly bad offensive game they lose and game that they really shouldn't have. They probably really should have been Kentucky, excuse me, if their offense was firing on all the cylinders. So yeah.
All right. So my main team is going to be Notre Dame because they lost to Stanford.
Well, there you go. That's nice.
And now, hey, now that we're on the show, I can talk all my crap. Remember last year, all the crap that you gave me every single week for Oregon losing to Stanford?
Yep.
Oh,
So now Lucas is
Now
going to
you
be
get it.
posting.
Now you get it.
Lucas is going to be posting the Stanford
Yeah.
Cardinal meme in the group chat all the time.
exactly.
I have to.
I have lost. Now we are on to the pick'ems. I have lost my throne. Lucas has been on fire the past 3 weeks.
Ah!
With me right on his tail. I'm right on his
And
tail.
I'm right there, and then Josh is coming up the rear. This is actually how it was at one point last year, I think.
What's
I think
he
it was
doing?
He's
coming up the rear. Coming up the rear. Bring it up the rear.
Hey, at least it's not like Landon Dickerson coming straight down your throat.
Oh, yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, there we go with that. So, but this is how it was last year. I think at one point I was third or even fourth in the pick'ems last year, and I came back and won it. So,
What's funny is I didn't even have a good week last week. I think right now I'm like.
I mean, that's just how
18,
bad of a
12.
week. I think that's just how bad of a week I had because we were tied last week, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
I just had some terrible weeks lately. Okay, let's get this started.
All right,
Lucas,
let's do it.
his grandfather, his dad, his daughter's grandfather coming to visit soon.
Yes.
Indiana,
All
Rutgers. Rutgers is a 3-point favorite. I'm at home.
Yeah, I'm taking Indiana in this one.
All right. Give me Indiana as well.
Yeah, I'm taking Indiana. They give Maryland a good.
The best team in the state of Indiana.
That is true. That is very true. Okay, Kansas at Baylor. Baylor is a 9.5-point favorite. I think this is based on the fact that they still think Jalen Daniels is not playing. That's the only reason why it's so big.
I don't think he's gonna play, but I have confidence in old Jason Bean. I think the team is just simply better than Baylor, and Ryan's team at the beginning of the season, the Baylor Bears, are going to take their 4th loss of the season.
Actually, believe it or not, as of a day ago, it says Jalen Daniels' latest status at Jayhawks practice is a good sign ahead of huge Baylor matchup. So it looks like he
Perfect.
might be available. So I'm going to take the Jayhawks. They're going to get back to their winning ways and get bowl eligible for the first time since, I think, 2009
I think it's 2008 actually.
or 2008.
I think one or the other. I was up until you said that, Ryan. I was gonna take Baylor, just go against what Lucas is saying. I'm gonna hold off. I'm gonna go with Kansas. But if Daniels doesn't play, then I'm switching to Baylor. But I'm gonna take Kansas for now. I think we all just like rock and chalk. We just like taking it. We like just rock the chalk.
Jayhawk.
Rock chalk Jayhawk. Duke at Miami. Miami is an 8.5-point favorite.
I have no idea how Miami is that.
They shouldn't be.
They only scored 12 more points than what they're favored right now last week against a bad Virginia Tech team. So I'm definitely taking Duke in this one.
Yeah, give me Duke in this one.
Yeah, unfortunately, I know I have to pick against you guys to get above you, but I just can't take Miami right now. They just don't look good at all. I just don't know what to think. Toledo at Buffalo. Toledo is a 7.5-point favorite.
Yeah, I'm taking Toledo in this one.
Yep, give me the Rockets.
The team that should be ranked at 25 instead of Tulane. Give me Toledo. Okay. Eastern Washington at the best team in the state of Indiana, Ball State. Ball State is a 2.5-point favorite.
Eastern Michigan.
Eastern Washington. I see the Eastern makes me immediately think of that.
Yeah, it looks like this is a really close game. Could go either way, but I'm going to go with Eastern Michigan in this one.
All right. Lucas beat me to it. Give me the Fighting Gray Turfs in Eastern Michigan.
I'll take Ball State. I'll take them at home. Oh, has Josh sent you his pick'ems as well, Ryan?
No, he hasn't.
Okay, well, he has.
Josh has been MIA. He's going to lose 20-something points.
Okay, well, hopefully he gets to, or else he'll definitely miss out on a bunch of points there. Okay. West Virginia at Texas Tech. Texas Tech is a 7.5-point favorite. Didn't we all take Baylor to beat West Virginia?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, we were all taking Baylor because we thought West Virginia is still not that good. Offensively, they're decent, but their defense still is not very good.
I just think Baylor's not good. I just honestly think Baylor's really bad.
Blake Shapen has not been the quarterback that a lot of us thought he would be.
Yeah.
No. It shows how important Gary Bohannon was for them last year.
See, Lucas gets it.
But I'm gonna go Texas Tech in this one. Texas Tech at home. I think they get it done.
Yep, give me the Red Raiders.
Yeah, I'll take Red Raiders as well. I just don't trust their West Virginia's defense.
This is not going to plan for you, Connor.
No, it's not.
I know.
Purdue at Wisconsin. Wisconsin is a 2.5-point favorite.
Purdue easily in this one. I think Wisconsin's got a good run game, but I just don't think they have the offense to keep up.
Yep, give me the Boilermakers.
Damn it! I guess I'll have to take the Boilermakers because
You don't want to go Wisco?
I just don't want to take Wisconsin. You know that game against Michigan State was a lot better than we thought it was going to be. I think we all took Wisconsin, right?
Yeah.
Michigan State. And Michigan State won in overtime, but Wesco actually had 28 points, which I thought was a lot more than we all thought they were going to score. I just don't know, especially with Graham Mertz. I just can't trust him. I just can't. I can't in good consciousness take him. Okay, Marshall adds James Madison. James Madison is a 12-point favorite.
Yeah, JMU coming off their first loss of the season in a game where I said it was going to be their best game of the year, their toughest opponent, and obviously they proved that to be real. But James Madison gets it done. Marshall's offense hasn't been able to do anything since Notre Dame game, and it's weird. I am not really sure why. They must have just put all of their juices. They sold their soul to beat Notre Dame, and now they're terrible.
Well, think about it this way: Marshall and Stanford are combined 0-11 against FBS teams this year outside of Notre Dame.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Hey, speaking of Gary Bohannon, he's out for the season.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, give me the Dukes of JMU.
Yeah, give me the Dukes, unfortunately. But yeah,
They are not Marshall this week.
guys. I mean, yeah, it's their offense hasn't looked good, even though I'm like an hour and a half from Huntington. Like, they just
And funny enough, Connor, James Madison got voted the best team in Virginia.
doesn't surprise me because the other option is the next team right here, BYU at Liberty, and then the next best option probably after that is Old Dominion. Literally, and then it's UVA, and then it's about 50 feet of crap, and then it's UVA and VT. Like, goddamn. Okay, BYU at Liberty. BYU is a 7-point favorite.
Liberty is also 6-1. But before you guys give your picks, Liberty was last week was down 20-0 against Gardner-Webb in the fourth quarter and came back and won 21-20.
Yeah, without hearing that, anyways, I already picked BYU to win this. I just think they're gonna. I think they're a tougher team. They do have a really good quarterback. I think they get it done against Liberty.
This might be one where I drop a point, but I'm going to go with the Fighting Hugh Freezes. Give me Liberty at home.
Damn it! I thought I was gonna be the other one. I'm gonna go with Liberty as well. So Lucas right now is taking his own on that. So I gotta hope that works out because he's been hitting on all of these where he goes off by himself and he's been getting.
I know.
I've just been on a roll, man. I don't know why.
Georgia Southern at Old Dominion.
Two teams that are coming off big upsets.
Big wins. Big upsets, big wins. Yep.
Yeah, and I honestly think that Old Dominion looked better than Georgia Southern did last week.
Old Dominion blew the
But James Madison also might be better than Coastal Carolina.
Yes, I agree. I think James Madison's probably better, but I think they were just off that game. They played their first tough game of the season, and they just looked off. Old Dominion they absolutely routed them boys in Coastal Carolina. So I'm taking ODU to win this game.
I really thought you were going to take Georgia Southern because you took them last week, right?
No, he took Coastal.
I took Coastal, but I said that Georgia Southern was the toughest game they played all year.
Georgia Southern beat JMU.
Yeah, so yeah, we all took JMU, but me and Lucas both agreed that would be a tough game.
Gotcha.
The toughest game, yeah. So
because Georgia Southern,
I'm taking ODU.
Georgia Southern was a hurdled man away from beating Coastal a couple weeks ago.
Yes.
So I'm going to take ODU as well. Monarch Blue is the color of the state of Virginia.
You know what? I was going to go ODU because I thought you guys were going to take Georgia Southern. I'm going to go against you and hope this works out. I'm going to take Georgia Southern.
It's basically a pick-em game, though.
Either way. It is. So, North Texas at UTSA. UTSA is a 10-point favorite.
Yeah, UTSA at home. I think they get it done.
Yeah, I think the Roadrunners get it done in a rivalry game. So, give me UTSA.
Yeah, I'll take UTSA as well. Vandy at Missouri. Vandy, we all thought that they were going to do a little bit better.
They were 3-0 to begin this year.
3-0. And we thought they were going to give Ole Miss a scare 2 weeks ago, and then they get absolutely.
You know why though, Connor? It's because they benched Mike Wright. They haven't won a game since they benched Mike Wright.
And they got mollywopped by Georgia, 55-0.
Yeah. So Missouri, I didn't realize they were going to be a 14-point favorite in this game. So it's not that crazy of a pick, but I am picking Missouri to win this game.
Yeah. Give me the Miz to win this game.
Yeah, I'll take it and make my cousin happy who went to Missouri. I'll take the Tigers. Arizona State at Stanford. Stanford's a 2.5-point favorite.
Like I said, I think Stanford should be on a 2-game winning streak right now, but they basically got whatever they call it, when the Vikings scored the touchdown with Diggs against the Saints in the playoffs. It was basically the same exact thing that happened to them against Oregon State.
The Minneapolis Miracle?
Yeah. Yes. It was basically the exact same thing. With 13 seconds left, the guy catches it on the sideline, and the defense just was. I mean, they just didn't know what to do. The guy scores, and they lose by a point. So with that being said, I think they get back on track, honestly, and David Shaw doesn't lose his job as a Stanford coach and gets this win against Arizona State.
Yeah, I'm going to take Stanford as well. Although I do think this is kind of a pick-em game because I think Arizona State.
They have one of the best running backs in the Pac-12.
And also they beat Washington pretty convincingly a couple weeks ago.
Pretenders.
So they're a sneaky team.
Washington's damn pretenders.
But, yeah, give me the Cardinal.
I'm going to take Arizona State because I think Stanford coming off an emotional win over Notre Dame.
Oh, Connor, I will actually be pissed if Stanford beats Notre Dame and then proceeds to lose.
I will take Arizona State. I'm going to take a major risk here because I don't fully buy it, but I have to go against Lucas and you and Ryan, both of you guys, at some point to try and get some points back. Of course, knowing me, my luck, that's the one that's going to smack me right in the face. I'm going to hit you guys, guaranteed. Boise State at Air Force. Air Force is a 2-point favorite. Didn't realize how it's been a long time since we've had both of these in there, so I didn't realize how good these teams were.
Well, Boise State's not really that good. They fired their head coach 3 weeks ago.
It is crazy that they're only a 2-point favorite in this game. I'm definitely going Air Force. Boise State, they're not as good as their record shows.
Yeah, they fired their coach 3 games in because they lost to UTEP. So, give me Air Force.
Yeah, I'll take Air Force. I think I've gotten them right every time I've picked them, and that's like 2 or 3 times now this season. So I'll keep riding them. They're like my San Diego State this year. It's really weird. So. Texas A&M at South Carolina. Texas A&M is 3-point favorite on the road, which means it'd be at least a 6-point, if not a touchdown favorite at home.
Yep.
It was the other way, so that's kind of crazy. I think Texas A&M is totally overrated.
I think both of these teams are overrated. I don't know why South Carolina is getting I don't know why they're getting votes to be in the top 25, but I'm gonna take A&M to win this game over the Cock Commanders.
Cock Commanders.
Oh, I actually kind of want to take South Carolina, but because I don't want to lose a point, I'm going to take Texas A&M.
Beamer ball, baby. Go South Carolina.
All right.
Okay. UCF at East Carolina. UCF
trap game. This is a trap game, and this game actually has a lot of meaning in terms of American Conference championship implications.
To me, I just think UCF is really good compared to their. I'm taking UCF.
So this is a night game at East Carolina. And East Carolina just had a night game against Memphis where they went down 20-0 against Memphis, and Memphis yet again blew another big lead. East Carolina came back and won.
Did I take Memphis?
We all took Memphis. Yeah, we all took Memphis. So I don't know. This is a tough one, but I'll go ahead and go UCF because I think that's the safer pick.
All right.
Connor? He's thinking about this so hard
I'll
right
take
now.
East Carolina. I'll take them. I'll take them.
All right.
Of course, I'll get it wrong. Pittsburgh at Louisville.
I'm taking Pitt.
What?
I'm taking Pitt.
Yeah, I'll take Pitt. I don't think any of us.
You're not going to go with Louisville in prime time?
At a night game.
Yeah, but it's not. So Louisville on days that aren't Saturday.
Lucas changes it so much.
I'm just saying, like Louisville in prime time on days that aren't Saturday, they're really good.
So I'm going to take my mother's alma mater, the Louisville Cardinal, mainly because Malik Cunningham is expected to play this week, and it's Louisville in primetime at Louisville. So give me primetime Cunningham.
Nice.
Carter already took it.
Yeah.
All
Okay.
right.
Washington. Wait, Wazoo, is that Washington State? I always get those.
Wazoo is Washington State.
Gotcha.
UW is
UW
Washington.
is, yeah.
Oh, UW, right. UW. Cal.
Yeah,
Cal
this is an
is-
easy one. California just came off the worst loss in college football by far, not even close. Lost to probably the worst team in college football in Colorado. So Washington is going to absolutely blow these guys out of the water. I don't know how they're only a 7.5 favorite.
Because it's on the road. That's
They're
why.
going to absolutely destroy the Golden Bears.
All right, give me UW in this one.
Yeah, give me UW. Memphis at Tulane. Number 25, Tulane. Tulane is a 7-point favorite.
Tulane makes their way into the top 25, and they make a quick exit just like JMU did. I'm taking Memphis.
Ooh. So I'm gonna go with Memphis getting an early 20-0 lead again, and then blowing it,
And then blowing
and then Tulane winning. So give me the.
I was about
the
to do
Green
the
Wave.
same thing. I can't trust Memphis after blowing those two leads after all of us picked them to. I think we all picked them to beat Houston and East Carolina.
Yeah.
They blew it both times, so I can't trust them. I'm gonna pick Tulane. They're gonna move on to 7-1 and be in the top 20 because some teams above them are gonna lose somehow.
They're making the Falcons, look like they have a valid excuse.
Yeah, pretty much. Okay, next we have Oro, Mississippi State at Alabama. Alabama's 21-point favorite. I saw something that the last 9 times that Alabama has lost, 5 of them the very next week they play Mississippi State.
And they spank the ever-living crap
Yeah.
out of them usually.
Yeah.
And things are not going to change. Alabama is going to spank them. I think Mississippi State is a good team, and they should probably be 6-1 right now, taking on Bama. But they're going to take their third loss. I don't think it's going to be close.
I just think we can all agree that if this game was any other week, except right after an Alabama loss to Tennessee,
We would give them a better.
this would be a close game. But the fact that this is the week after, I think Alabama is going to throw those Bulldogs into the dirt, and it's going to be.
They're gonna make Mike Vick blush with how badly they're gonna beat those dogs.
Jeez.
Water.
Sorry. Yeah, I'll take Alabama. Okay, number 21, Cincinnati at SMU. Cincinnati's a 3.5-point favorite.
SMU's looked really bad. I think Cincinnati is a decent team, not a great team. Obviously, they're nowhere near where they were last year, but I still think they get it done with the points for sure. Only 3.5 points. I think they could win this game by 10-14.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Bearcats in this one.
Yeah, I'll go Bearcats as well. SMU they haven't looked very good at all. Their offense is good, but at times. But then Tanner Mordecai throws some terrible picks. So yeah, I'll take.
Also, they have 30 players on scholarship that are transferring and are sitting out the rest of the year. So
Yep.
SMU. Oh
yes,
please come to VT. Please come to VT.
including their best wide receiver. They have a wide receiver that's one of the best wide receivers in all of college football, and he's sitting out the rest of the year. So he could go to VT.
Jets wide receiver Elijah Moore has frustrated with his role and usage as asked for a trade.
Come to Denver.
Wow.
Come to Denver.
Dude, he's only been there for a year.
Exactly.
Come to
That's
Denver.
crazy.
So, okay, number 20, Texas at number 11, Oklahoma State.
I'm going to take Oklahoma State in a rebound. I think this is going to be another really good game. Probably what the Red River I can't say it.
Red
River rivalry. It's a tough one. I think it's going to be what that game should have been, and it's going to be a really close game, just an absolute barn burner. But I think Oklahoma State is able to pull it out and get the win.
So I think this is the real Red River rivalry.
There you go.
So give me the Pokes in this one, Oklahoma State.
Yeah, I'll take the Pokes as well. Okay, K-State, number 17, Kansas State, at number 8, TCU. TCU is a 3.5-point favorite.
This was a tough game for me to pick, just because I know that Kansas State's played well, but with how they played against, I want to say it was it Iowa last week?
Iowa State, or not Iowa State. No, they were off last week, so they played Iowa
So
State
it was
and
Iowa
won 10-9.
State the week before where they won 10-9. It just didn't look very good. I'm taking TCU here, and I think it's going to be one of those games where it's close through 3 quarters, and then TCU kind of runs away with it at the end.
So like a 42-21 type game?
Yeah, 42, maybe 42-28, just like a real close one until the end. I think they pull it out.
Yep, give me the Horny Frogs, the team that I was high on ever since we did our Big 12 preview, and I said that they were a sleeper team to win the conference.
Lays.
It's
Okay.
weird. They're like this year's Michigan
I'm sweating.
for me
That's
this
a
year.
good. Oh, jeez. That's a good.
Sweating.
That's a good
Hot
point,
here.
Ryan. Yeah, they are like this year's Michigan kind of. Okay, yeah, I'll take TCU as well. Unfortunately, I should be picking it more against you guys, but yeah. Minnesota at number 16, Penn State. Penn State is a 4-point favorite.
Yeah, I'm going to take Penn State in the bounce back. Obviously, we saw how bad Minnesota's offense was last week. I know they played a good Illinois defense, but Penn State's got a good defense too. They got a really good run game, and I think they get it going. I'm not 100% sure if Sean Clifford's going to be 100% this week. He got a little banged up at the end of the Michigan game.
But they have a 5-star quarterback sitting behind him.
He looked not good. I know it was
The
against
5-star?
Michigan, though. It was
The
against
5-star?
Michigan. Yeah. I know it was against Michigan, but he didn't look very good. Hopefully Sean Clifford plays. If he doesn't, I still think they can pull it out because of how bad Minnesota's offense.
So Tanner Morgan also left last week's game in the third quarter against Illinois with a concussion. They're not ruling out yet that he could play this week.
They might be better off without him.
But the backup looked worse. So I'm going to go Penn State.
Yeah, Penn State. That's all I got to say. Okay. Ole Miss. Number 7, Ole Miss at LSU. I don't know why, but I feel like this is the exact type of game that LSU would win, even with.
Give
Don't
me
you at-
the
don't
Bayou Bengals, baby.
Oh.
I'm taking LSU in a victory
and
over
that
Ole
way,
Miss this
and
week.
when they win, both Lucas and I will win our bet against.
Yes,
Ryan.
we will. And the reason why I'm taking LSU to win this game is because Miss did not look good last week whatsoever.
They had a
they
21-0 lead on
They blew it against Auburn.
And they blew it against Auburn. And Auburn did not play very well. And Ole Miss didn't look very good, I want to say, against Vanderbilt the week before, too.
LSU should have lost to Auburn, though, too.
LSU is going to come out. They're going to ball. And I think they end up getting this victory, getting their 6th win of the season, a huge win for the Brian Kelly era. And Ryan's going to be pretty upset after this one.
So, let me give you guys some stats, okay? BK is 1-11 against top 10 teams. You know who that one win was against? Clemson, when they didn't have Trevor Lawrence. Brian Kelly sucks at coaching against top 10 teams.
You know how many SEC teams Brian Kelly has coached for?
Just one.
One.
Just one.
And that's LSU. LSU and the SEC are a different breed than independent Notre Dame. So I'm definitely taking LSU to win.
Okay, well, Ole Miss, that's going to be a repeat of what Tennessee did to LSU last week. It's going to be 40-10. Give me the Rebels.
ESPN FPI has LSU at a 51.3% chance of winning.
Hey, you know what? I wonder what that FPI said about Notre Dame beating Stanford.
Yeah,
probably
you're
like,
right.
it's probably like 91%,
91% or something like that. Yeah,
probably.
that's probably right.
Okay.
Connor?
Despite the fact that I would love nothing.
This would be
more-
a free point for you, Connor. If
Yeah, this will be. I'm gonna take Ole Miss.
This would be a win-win either way.
Either way, it's a win-win. Either Ryan loses our bet and we get to see him. What does he have to get? He has to get.
I have to get a hat that says I love.
I love Brian Kelly hat.
Yep.
Or I get a point up on both, or at least on Lucas. So it's a win-win. Okay, Iowa at number 2, Ohio State. Is the question really, do we take Ohio State and the points at 29?
I don't.
Really?
I take Ohio State to win this game, but 30 points on a good Iowa defense. That's a lot of points to win by.
This would be the best defense.
It's also different. It's at Ohio State, so it's not like if it was at Iowa, I'd be like, I wouldn't be surprised if it was like under 21. If it was at Iowa, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, but if you think about it,
I don't know why, but I feel like this is the exact position Iowa. If it was at Iowa, this would have been the exact position they were in when they blew out Ohio State a few years ago. It was like 55-24 or something, Iowa.
But no, I was gonna say this. Iowa is also the best defense Ohio State will have played since Notre Dame.
That's true. So,
if you think about it, so they beat Michigan State by 29 points.
Ohio State did?
Yes. So think about that for a second. They beat Michigan State by 29 points. Iowa, how many times have they given up? They've not one time this year have they given up more than 27. And that was against Michigan, where they gave up 27 points. So I'll give them 21. I'll give them 21. And that's
the real
that's
question,
the
Lucas.
farthest I'm
Does
going.
Iowa get to 7 points?
Hey, they put up 14 on Michigan.
Oh, all right. Give me Ohio State big.
And the points?
Not the points. Just give me Ohio
Not
State,
points.
but big.
Yeah, I think I'll take Ohio State straight up. I don't take the points either. But then watch, because we all pick them without the points, they'll win by 40 or something.
We're not good. Don't ever trust us when it comes to point
do not
spreads.
trust us when it comes to actually betting the points or the money line or anything. Because we actually don't know anything. We just have that there for anyone watching that wants to bet. Okay. UNLV at Notre Dame. Notre Dame's at 20.
I hate the fucking bet. I hate the bettors right now.
What?
Dude,
Yeah.
they had
I
us.
don't know, man.
This game, you know, I feel like it's also the people in Vegas trying to troll us because we started off as 17-point favorites and now we're almost to 30. Like,
Yeah, I don't know about this. I think I'm going to take Notre Dame to win this game. And just because I think they can bounce back. It's kind of how they bounce back against North Carolina. Like a good North Carolina team, they bounced back, got that win after losing to Marshall. So I think they could do that again. 27 points is a lot of points.
I think that might be the most Notre Dame's put up all year.
The most,
in a game.
yeah, I mean,
26? What's the most Notre Dame's given up or put up? Like 30?
I think like 26.
Let's see. The most they've scored all year was 45. Obviously,
Against North Carolina, because that was
against
North Carolina.
They scored 28 on BYU.
That's not bad.
That's not terrible.
Arkansas only put up 50 on BYU, but
yeah. So I'm still taking Notre Dame to win. I think they get a bounce back game before they lose 2 straight against Syracuse and Clemson. So
let me ask you guys this though: if you had, what would your point spread be?
14.
If this was what?
Like, what would your point spread be for this
No,
game?
10 and a half.
UNLV at Notre Dame?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd probably do 2 touchdowns, probably.
See, I would go UNLV.
Like if they were playing at UNLV, like because they play where you guys played against BYU, they play in Allegiant Stadium. It'd probably be like a 10-point or less. Honestly,
see, I'd say Notre Dame. I would say I would favor UNLV by 3.
At home, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Because and then bad Notre Dame's been.
That's true.
The thing is, but I'm going to go Notre Dame.
No, we haven't gone yet.
Oh, you haven't went?
No, I went.
Oh, I didn't go. I'll take
You
Notre
said-
Dame still, but still.
I'll go
Notre
Notre
Dame,
Dame,
yeah.
but I would not. I honestly, I would not be surprised if we lost to UNLV. I
could see
really would not.
Would you be just as disappointed if you won by less than the point spread right now?
No, I would be completely fine winning by a point. I really
Right?
would.
Yeah, you're at that point where it's like
He's that
UNLV
broke.
by
He's
one.
that broken that at this point he'll just take.
See,
a
the
win.
thing
He
is,
doesn't
Lucas can understand this because his team is elite right now. You can only complain about how much your team wins by if you're an elite team.
That's true.
Yes. That is true. That's why I want to be UCLA by 50.
All right.
Ugh.
Okay.
Next up,
My team
Lucas
is
is Ducks.
BT is off.
Yes.
Prepare for North Carolina State. So thank God we don't have to watch VT crap the bed this week. So number 9, UCLA at number 10, Oregon. Oregon is a 6.5 point favorite at home, and I believe Lucas said they won like 27, 28 at home, straight at home. When was the last time they lost at home?
Last time they,
I mean, what, 4 or 5 years ago?
it was a while ago.
Like 5, 6 years ago?
That. Yeah, let me look. I can probably find it.
Well,
It's
while Lucas
probably-
is looking for that, I'll go ahead and go first. I'm sorry, Lucas, but I know this is at home. I just think DTR is a slightly better quarterback than Bo Nix, and I think this is one of those games where Bo Nix plays really well, but throws one duck of a pass that gets intercepted. I just think UCLA wins this, but I think it's close. I think UCLA wins by a field goal.
So the last time they lost at home was September 22nd of 2018, and that was against number 7 Stanford in overtime. So
Oh, I remember that game.
it was the game where we were up a lot, and then we were about to run the ball out, and CJ
Yeah,
Verdell
and then they fumbled
What's
as
up?
they were trying to run the ball out.
Okay, we're almost done. Yeah.
That's when you're
But-
trying to run the clock out. They fumbled.
Yeah,
I
we
remember that
fumbled,
game.
but obviously, you guys both pick UCLA.
No, I haven't gone yet.
All right, go ahead.
While I think DTR is a better QB than Bo Nix, I do think Autzon's just such a tough place to play. So even though I want to try and catch up to Lucas, at the very least I have to catch up to Ryan, who's only a point ahead of me. So I'm going to rock it with you, Lucas. I'm taking Oregon.
All right, the last time Chip Kelly won a game in Autzen Stadium was October 27th, 2012. It'll be 5 days away. When this game happens, it'll be 5 days away from the 10-year anniversary of his last win in Autzen Stadium against Colorado.
And they have to wait another 2 years before he gets.
Let me ask you this, Lucas: Does he get a positive reception when he comes into Autzen?
I think he will. I mean, he's one of the best coaches we've ever had.
He'll get like half cheers, half boos. I guarantee it.
We, as Oregon fans, we like Chip Kelly. We do. We like Chip Kelly. We wish he never left, but we understand why he did. And then he got the opportunity, obviously, to coach at UCLA, which is totally fine with us. The cheapest ticket for the Oregon State game is $200. Okay, that's interesting. But anyways,
you gotta manage your money now that you have a kid, man, dude.
I'm obviously taking Oregon to win this game. I think it's gonna be close. Last year we beat them on game day in Los Angeles, 34-31. Now a lot of people say that UCLA probably should have won that game if DTR didn't get hurt. I don't care about those people. We still got the dub.
Well, I remember, if I remember correctly, UCLA was winning, and then DTR went down, and then that's why a lot of people
we
say- yeah.
scored late. I think this Oregon team is significantly better than they were last year. I think UCLA probably is too. But
Jake Bobo is a beast.
I'm giving Oregon this win. And
Okay.
with that being said, I do have to go, boys. So let's Let's get
Let's
through
hurry this
this.
Let's get through these. We have 5 left. Let's get these through real quick. Our team.
I'm taking Southern Miss. I'm taking Southern Miss here.
Okay.
All right. Give me Southern Miss.
Well, taking Southern Miss. Game of the week. We got number 14 Syracuse and number 5 Clemson. Clemson is nearly a 14-point favorite. Is that your dad calling you or like your?
Yeah, it is. I'm actually going to take Clemson in this one. I don't know why they're a 13.5-point favorite, but I'm going to take Clemson at home. Clemson has the most straight wins at home. I think they're at like
36
something. Yeah. So
the last time we
I'm
lost
definitely going to take Clemson.
Was that Pittsburgh game? Chris blew it.
Yes.
So, if this game was at Syracuse, I would totally take Syracuse because Syracuse should have beat the same Clemson team last year. But since it's at Clemson, I'm going to give go with the Tigs.
Right. I'll go with Clemson as well. $1 ticket game: Hawaii at Colorado State. Colorado State's a 5-point favorite.
All right, I'm taking Hawaii, and I'm going to bounce.
Well, one second, Lucas, because we have two more after this.
Well, I'll send them to you.
Okay, just send them then.
Peace out, guys.
Peace.
Okay.
All right, so who did he take, Colorado State?
No, he took Hawaii.
I'm going to go Colorado State in this one.
I'll take Colorado State as well. Hopefully that's a 3-point for us, hopefully. Okay, then we got Louisiana at Southern Miss again. Okay, Southern Miss on here twice. Give me Southern Miss again. I'm going to keep rocking with them. I think I've got
Give me the Golden Eagles.
Ever since they beat Tulane and I didn't pick them, I've had to take them. And then here's my team, VT at NC State. Both of these teams are on a bye, I think.
Yep.
So this is next week's Thursday night game at 6:30. So I get to watch that game pretty much right after we're done. If we go like 2 hours, 2.5 hours, we can just go straight to there and just watch the game right after. Actually, no, that's 7:30. Sorry, you have the Central Time. It's confused me.
So I'm gonna go ahead and take NC State, Connor. I'm sorry, but I know that they don't have Devin Leary. Their defense is just really good. Their defense is still one of the top in the country. So
don't worry, I'm also gonna take NC State. Until VT actually wins a game, I'm not gonna actually pick them at this rate.
When's the last time you guys won a game? Who was that against?
We beat Boston College, and then we beat not Middle Tennessee. Oh, Wofford. and we only won. I did like 27-7 because and we allowed Wofford to score their first points the entire season that game. That's how bad the team was. So yeah, and we're on a 4-game losing streak.
All right, Connor. Well, you want to take us out really quick for everybody. I know there's nobody watching right now, but people that watch it after this is posted, we have a special guest on the show coming up soon, who is a former collegiate football player at a big-time university. So watch out for that. If you like the podcast, make sure you like, subscribe, and comment down below. And check out all the new videos that come out. Usually every Monday and Tuesday with the best of college football and NFL. So
start releasing those at proper hours, dude.
I know.
You need to release them. I know it takes a while, and I know you're the one doing it, and I have no business telling you what, but it would make sense to release that. So this has been a Week 0 podcast. This has been one of our quicker episodes in a long time, actually. This might be one of the shortest we've had in a long time. So we'll be back next Thursday for Lucas, new dad McKnight, who left a little bit ago. For Ryan, Notre Dame, I'm an Illinois fan. Who dat? Travel. I am Connor Fuente, F-Dub Doherty, and I am your host. I'm your host. I don't know why I said that last. Oh my God. Let's just get this done with. This has been the Week 0 podcast, and we'll see you guys next week.